Okay, so we're here. It's Wednesday, July 27th, 2022. Before we get started, we were just talking about Zebraweb. And for those of you that have registered with the state, and when you log in, you should be presented with at least two things. One is the New Jersey State Interscholastic Athletic Association, or NJSIAA portal, as well as the Atlantic Cape Cumberland Soccer Chapter. Now, I have a bunch of them because I belong to other things, do multiple sports, but if this is your only sport, everybody gets access to the New Jersey State one. That's where you take your test. And when you log in there, if you're not presented with those choices, most likely you're not a member of the local chapter yet. We'll fix that. I'll take care of that on my side. That's a secretary can help us with that. But when you log into the state level, so see at the top, it says NJSIAA, you're at the top level, the umbrella for all sports. So this particular place is where you go to documents and online test. And under online test, you'll see I belong to four different groups here. But if I go to soccer test, I can see my results, which there are none because I haven't taken it yet. But when I click the online test, it brings me to where I can download a copy of the test. I've already provided that to everyone, but you can then just click on take your test. You'll say, this is your first attempt. Click here to start the test. And you can start it and stop it. And it's open book, but it has to be done before. I mean, we're going to have ours done in the next couple of weeks anyway. I'm going to ask you, our local assigner wants them all done by August 15th. So we'll have them done. We're going to have ours done in the next 2 weeks anyway, because we're probably a good over third, almost half there. Now to switch, for me, I go in and under administration, I go to switch associations, and then it brings me back here again. So now I want to go into soccer. Now mine looks a little bit different than yours because I have some other functions that are, because I'm an officer of the association, but you go into this area. Yours will look kind of like this. And this is where you can do a bunch of things where you can switch associations. This is if you had to go back to the top level, you would do that. Again, I have different functions here, but the most important function under officials is that this is where you set up your profile. And in your profile here, this is where you put, this address should be where you would leave for a game. So like if you work in Central Jersey and you wanted the assigner to know, like, hey, if he's going to assign you a 3:45 game, you're coming from Burlington or wherever, right? So that's what we typically do, is like, where are you traveling from? And then, you know, all this kind of stuff. I don't know what this other stuff is here. Oh, I see, mileage calculation. If you want to put an alternate address in, like Monday through Friday, you want to use your alternate address because it could be your work address. Basically, it tells the assigner what zip code you're coming from when they try to give you games. So they always try to keep people a little bit close. Okay. This is where you can set up your text messaging for your, so you get reminders and things like that. This is where you also, if you're affiliated with a school that we service, you would put that in there. That way you would not get any games for that school. So we could talk about that later, but that's if you had like a kid playing on a team, you don't want to get that. If you have someone that works in the district, like very close relative, there's a whole list of things that would disqualify you from working a school. And it's really the presumption of impropriety more than anything. That's where you can put your photo in and all that kind of stuff. But this also is where you block your availability. So you go in here to my availability. So when you're logged in at the portal level, not the state level, but the local chapter, you go in here under officials and you put in your availability. So you go in here and it pulls up a calendar. So I can go into August. I'll click into August. And you can see I've already blocked out August 27th. Actually, I blocked it out for another chapter, but for that day I can't work, so I blocked it out. And I can also, so I can go in, and if if I know I can't work Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, I block those dates out, and you just go in here and you put the information in, hit save. You have to put a reason in, and they don't care what the reason is. You just have to put something in. You say at work, whatever, wedding, on a weekend, whatever. If you don't block out your calendar and you get a game and you have to turn it back because you didn't block your calendar out, the assigner doesn't like that. They might let you off the hook one time. There might even be fines for that. I kind of don't recall, but most officials are really good with blocking out their calendar because that's your job, right? It's like, just tell them when you're available and you'll most likely get a game. So you don't have to call them and say you're not available. You just block your calendar out. If you get a game and you had forgotten to block your calendar out, the only way to get rid of your game is you have to call the assigner. You can't turn it back. You might get there might be a window of a few hours you get, but the key thing is keep this calendar up to date, because that's what we do, right? We just have to make sure it's totally up to date. Like for me, I have a bunch of blockouts because I have travel dates. I'm away on a business trip on a couple dates. So I'm literally blocked my calendar out so I won't get dates or assignments on those dates for anything that I do. Because I'm a clock operator in football and I do soccer. So I don't want to get any football games on a Saturday because I'm not around. And for soccer, I blocked out these dates as well. So that's how that works.
Bill, if you block them out ahead of time, say you're pretty sure you're going to be unavailable for the following week, and then during the week you find out that you become available, like the 1 day or 2 days, can you open that again, or can you switch it?
Yeah, absolutely. Okay. So see this, it says remove block. You can go in and click on it and just remove the block, and it'll literally take it away. Yep. And a good idea is if it's short notice, like if the assigner says, hey, I'm having trouble on Tuesday. If anybody's available, can you unblock yourself? So unblock yourself and then shoot them a note and say, hey, Joe, I cleared my schedule. I can work if you need me, right? And it's a nice practice. And a lot of times you'll get games if you can help the assigner out. Okay, that's how that works. Okay, so that's Zebraweb, and we'll talk about that more as we get a little bit closer. He tends to work a couple weeks in advance, and the reason is there's so many changes in the schedule with weather being an outdoor sport. So he doesn't really go that far out because otherwise it gets all swirled up. And you basically, if you're open and you get a game, it's yours, unless there's a problem. So it works out pretty nice. Okay, I'm going to stop sharing and see who's on. Hey, Clayton, how you doing?
I'm doing good. How are you?
Good. Did you register with the state yet?
I believe I did, and I have finished my test as well.
How'd you do?
I scored a 90.
Look at you leading the class. Good job. Now you'll be an expert on our call tonight then. Are you in Zebraweb? Let me see if you are.
I'm not for the one chapter. I know for the NJSI AAIM.
Okay. Yeah, because I got John and not you. Okay, so let me just make a note of that. So zebra problem. Okay. Good. So if anyone's all you guys that are listening to this, what I want you to make sure is that you are registered with the state. That's important. And you're in Zebraweb, not only at the state level, because if you registered with the state, you're automatically at that state level. You want to make sure that you are also in the Atlantic Cape Cumberland soccer chapter. And just let me know if you're not, because it looks like some are, like Vladimir is, but some of you guys, Jose, Robert, and Clayton, looks like you're not. I will talk to the secretary on that and we'll get that squared away. That's just some issues on the back end that they have to rectify. Okay, you guys ready to rock and roll? I want to talk about tonight, our topic. I don't know if I'm following the thing exactly here. Let me share my screen. Hold on. Share screen. Where are we? We are pretty far along. So 27th. So nothing next week. I might give you a recording for the following week. Stay tuned for that. I have a recording. I have it as a Zoom, but I'm actually traveling. I'm going to be in Florida visiting my daughter. So I might record something and send it to you guys to listen to on your own. And our goal is to have our test submitted the following week. So the next 2 weeks will be kind of a like catch up. Next week is definitely a catch up week for everybody. Get your reading done, catch up on your videos, and start into the test if you have access to the test. And we'll make sure we're going to probably be 3/4 of the way through it after tonight, maybe even a little bit further. So let's dig in. Okay. So I wanted to focus on offside, the offside rule tonight. And I have a little presentation here. I don't want to go into this in ultra detail, but this is really good. Now, this is a USSF, and so there are some slight mechanics differences between the travel ball or the youth ball, USA Soccer, whatever they call it, US Soccer Federation, and National Federation, which of course is high school rules, okay? But this is a pretty good overview of it. So let's just talk about the offside rule. And notice it's offside and not offsides. I know it's a little picky, but you sound more professional when you use the words that they're meant to be. It's the offside rule. You're not offsides like you are in football. You're in an offside position, and that's how we use that word properly. Okay, so let's talk about this for a little bit here, and then we're going to do some of these on the test. Okay, so an offside position, the criteria is that the player is closer to the opposing team's goal line. So if you're in an offside position, if you as a player, an attacking player, are closer to the team's goal line, if you're closer than the ball, the second to last opponent, and in the opponent's half of the field. So you're in the attacking end, right? So those three things have to happen, right? You have to be ahead of the ball. You have to be closer to the goal line than the second to last opponent. So that could be the goalkeeper and another defender, or it could be if the goalkeeper is far out away from the goal line, would need to be two defenders, right? Opponents. And of course, it has to be in the attacking end or the opponent's half of the field. You are not in an offside position if you're in your own defensive half of the field, of the halfway line, okay? Key thing about offside, by the way, this is one of the most simplistic rules in the whole rule book. Simplistic, but the hardest to call, hardest to rule on. And guess what? If we get this wrong, it can change the complexion of a game. Now at the lower level, not so much when they're scoring 7 and 8 goals, but when it's a 1-0 game, that one offside ruling could be the thing that makes the difference. And trust me, I've had them in like playoff games where I let one go and I'm like, oh, don't score, and she scores, and then I'm like, oh, I hope on tape it looks good on video, and it was fine. You got to beat the tape, as they say. So of course we don't have video assisted replay, so how do we rule on this? So let's just dig into this a little bit further here. So you're not in an offside position if you're even with the ball. So if you're level with the ball or even with it, or even if you're even with that second to last opponent, and even with the last two opponents, if they are even with each other. So if they're two opponents even with each other, that's cool. If you're on the halfway line or in your own half of the field, so if you're considered still be on the halfway line, you're still good, okay? Or here's the big one: if the ball is being played by the opposing team. So if you're in an offside position and the ball is played by the opposing team, you're not penalized for that. It's only when the ball is played by your team, okay? So the other thing, there's this word called active play, and it's consistent with USSF, right? This is concept of active play. You can be in an offside position and not be penalized for it. Unlike American football, where you're offside, they blow the whistle, you encroached, right? That type of stuff. In soccer, you can be in offside position and you're fine. until you become involved in active play. And we'll talk about that. And active play is when you've interfered with the play, you've interfered with an opponent, or you gain an advantage from being in that offside position. So that's kind of what we're talking about, okay? And you got to be involved in active play. You have to be involved with the play. So you're contacting the ball. When you make contact with the ball, you are in an offside position and you make contact with the ball, that's active involvement. If you block an opponent and that created an advantage for you, that is active involvement. If you get in the vision line of sight with an opponent, that's not good. And you would be penalized for that if you were in an offside position. Again, if you distract or deceive someone. The other thing is if you receive the ball that rebounds from the goal or a defender who didn't control or play the ball. If they intentionally played the ball, that's okay. But if you're in an offside position, the ball is played and it hits a defender, comes off of them, comes off the goalkeeper, comes off the crossbar, and you're in an offside position, you've gained an advantage from that. And we'll talk about all that here real quick. And we'll look at some videos tonight too, okay? So again, gaining advantage, you play the ball, interfere with opponent. We talked about all these things. So there you go. There's no offside offense if a player receives the ball from these three things. And guess what? These are on the test. I think 3 of these questions are on the test, if you already probably saw them already. So if you are in an offside position and you receive the ball from a goal kick, right? So think about it. The goalkeeper is going to kick the ball on a goal kick. The ball went over the goal line. They're going to kick it. And you're just standing down there. You're way, way, way in an offside position. Only the goalkeeper is between you and the goal line, but the goalkeeper kicks it right to you. Whatever, you're good. A throw in from anywhere. In fact, that's a great tactic coaches teach. When there's a throw in, that player can start taking off for the goal line and be way ahead of the play and be in an offside position if it was a kick, but because it's a throw in, there's no offense for that. And of course, in a corner kick, because the ball is already on the goal line, right in the corner, no one can be in an offside position or penalized for an offside position on a corner kick. Okay, now we'll see in a minute that things can happen after that, right? So here's the challenge for us, right? We're 2 people on the field. Not only do we have to see the offside rulings, we have to be right on top of that. That's critical. Well, we also have to look behind us. So we're looking, we're running with the play. We're looking down to see if someone's in an offside position. We'll look at that in a minute here on video. But we also have to look backward to see, like, the ball's behind that. See, when is the ball played? Where's that attacker? Did the attacker participate in that? There's a lot of things to go on, right? And a lot to process in a 2-person crew. That's why a lot of times it's nice when you have a 3-person crew. You have the referee in the center, okay, looking at all the foul action, doesn't worry about any offside offenses because they have 2 people running the touch lines so that they handle all that. So they kind of laser in on one or the other. But for us, the worst is if you're working a 6th, 7th, 8th grade game and it's 1 person. Think about that. 1 person. You have no view of offside. That's like an interesting thing. I always say, when I work the little kids games, and I do it all the time down here in Wildwood, they have this 6th, 7th, 8th grade games. It's nice. You work with the kids, you help them out. If it looks like they're in an offside position, you just blow the whistle. If it looks like they gain too much of an advantage, blow the whistle. And they know that too, because they know it's only 1 person. Because you run up and down the middle of the field, you can't see everything. So here's some infringements, right? Let's not even talk about that. Let's look at some examples. So here's a good example. I like these charts. This was the reason why I wanted to pull this up. Okay. So here, let me annotate this a little bit. If I can do it. What do I want? Draw. Okay, a nice thick one. Okay. So here you can see that the player is, what are we looking at here? Okay, so a player in, the hell are we looking at here? The attacker's in white, okay. And, oh, they're obviously in offside position, right? Because the goalkeeper is out here. So this is one, and this is maybe the second to last defender here, okay? And in an offside position, and the ball's played into them, that's a super example, easy one, okay? Let me go to the next one here. Oh, it's got to stop this. Hold on. Stop. Drawing. Undo. Clear. Okay, I want to stop this. Hold on. It's not working for me. Okay. Oh, mouse. Okay, here we go. All right. So now here's another play, right? So very similar play. If I go back to this one, they've interfered with play because they've touched the ball, right? In this case, the ball went straight in, okay, not an offside offense, even though, because there's no interfering with that play. As long as player A doesn't touch the ball and interfere with play, just being in that offside position, not a big deal. Notice where now this is a 3-person crew because we have a referee in the center and we have a assistant referee running. But in our game, this assistant referee would probably be, oh, sorry, I went too far here. Go back one. Instead of being here, you might be on the field a little bit more because we don't run necessarily outside the touchline. We run inside. This would be the lead official. The trail official might be a little further back because they probably wouldn't get up in the play quite as much, but you'd be up in here somewhere. So you're both kind of in the same position. And notice where the lead official will be standing in line with the second to last defender. Here's the last defender. Here's the next to last defender. And so we want to have eyes to see who is beyond this person right here, because this is our line of being on or offside. But in this case, we're not, if interfering with play would only be if they touch the ball, okay? So here's another example, right? So A is in a clearly offside position, okay? A is in a clearly offside position, but the ball is played to B. So the lead official has a good look, and this is the next to last defender. Here's the last defender down here. Here's the next to last defender. So good line of sight because this is our line. And you can see that A is offside in an offside position, not offside, but in an offside position. But the ball is played through and B comes through and gets the ball. Well, B was in an onside position when the ball was played, when it was kicked and played. If A would have interfered with the play, then we would penalize A for being in an offside position. But because B played the ball, we're good to go. And once B played the ball, touched the ball, then all bets are off here. I'll pause. That make sense? That's good with that. Okay. But same situation. If this player played it over to the right-hand side to A, who was in an offside position, once A became involved in active play, meaning came to and touched the ball, then we have an offside offense and we would penalize that. But notice where the official is here, okay? And let's see this other one. Here's a goal kick, okay? So the ball goes out on a goal kick, okay? And let's see what the next play is. So the goal kick interfering with an opponent. I don't know what that slide meant. Let's see. And 1, 2. I know what they're trying to say here. But anyway, we know that if there's a goal kick, then you are, well, I guess what they're trying to say is because the ball went out of play, right? Went over the goal line, even though one was in an offside position, in this here was coming down, becoming an active play, because the ball went out of play, we would not, we would just, the restart would be a goal kick. I think that's what they're trying to say here. Okay. Here's an interesting one, right? This happens a lot, actually. I shouldn't say a lot, but on occasion, where you have player A, the attacking player in white, in an offside position, and the player here is attempting a shot, okay? And here's the referee, lead official, in line with the second to last defender, who's really far up. So A is in a very extremely offside position. Just being there is not a problem, but what happens is, because he's interfering with this goalkeeper, is in direct line of vision, and that's a judgment call. Like, did A interfere? Because in this case right here, A is not, even though they're as deep as they were in the previous one, they're not really interfering with the opponent. So that's where you have to determine what the, being in an offside position, did it generate an advantage by them interfering with an opponent, which allowed the a goal to be scored? Okay, put him in advantage. Here, not offside. Okay, so corner kick, same thing, right? So because A was in an offside position and the ball went out, then we're not going to penalize, even though it was tried, even though A was coming in here trying to get involved in active play because the ball went out. That is not a not penalized offense, an offense. The other thing is, whenever we have a corner kick, everyone that's on the field is in an onside position on the kick itself. Okay, so this one here is a little bit different. So notice the difference. Not an offside because it was played and off of B, but here, because A was involved in active play, close enough to make a play on the ball, and actually maybe tried to make a tackle here on B, and B knocked the ball over the goal line, then because A was in an offside position and got involved in active play, now we have offside. So now, instead of being a corner kick, it actually would be a indirect kick for team B, heading in the opposite direction. So there's a big difference between these two plays right here. Does that make sense, you guys? Difference here between these two is A is not involved in active play. Here they are. They're interfering with an opponent. Okay. Here, gaining advantage. So B is in an offside position. Here's the next. These two defenders are level, so they're considered one. Okay. And this lead official in our two-man game would probably be on the field here a little bit more. And because the ball was kicked and rebounded or parried or deflected off the goalkeeper or the goal posts or the crossbar and came out to B, who was in an offside position, when the ball was struck here, then that created an advantage. So therefore, that would be an offside offense. Okay. And same thing here. Okay. So here is the goalkeeper has come out a bit, but there is a defender that's kind of hanging out at the goal line. So the goalkeeper now is our next to last defender. Notice where the lead official probably would be on the field a little bit more, but in a good line of sight with the next to last defender, which in this case is the goalkeeper. And B in white, the attacker is in an offside position. A strikes the ball. This is the location when the ball was struck. It is kicked by the defender, and then B knocks it in. Or as soon as B gets anywhere near this ball and becomes involved in active play, they've gained an advantage from being in that position. So it's an offside. Okay. And here, similar thing, but not offside. We have C is in an offside position here, okay, and B is onside. Onside, B is onside, C is offside. when the ball was played, that was their position. The ball comes off the goalkeeper and comes out. Now it depends on who gets involved in active play here. If B comes in and gets involved in active play, we're good because B was onside when the ball was struck. So it all has to do when the ball was played by the teammate. Where are you? What's your location on the field when the ball was played? In this case, B got involved in active play. Therefore, we would penalize the offside offense because B gained an advantage compared to this, compared to that. So it just depends. And it gets tricky, right? You got a lot of people here. You almost have to think in your head. I always say, I pick somebody and I stay on them. And I'm like, that player's offside. If that player gets involved, I got it. But if there's multiple players, because there would be, it just depends on who gets involved. If this player, I just keep my eye on the player who's in an offside position, because as soon as they get involved, then there's where we stop play. Not offside, okay? Not offside is because at this point in time, even though, well, I shouldn't say even though, right? The ball, this player is behind the ball, okay? So B1, I'm sorry, C is behind the ball. So even though everybody is like beyond the next to last defender, okay, they're still behind the ball because B1 takes the ball up here and passes back to C. Even though C is behind the next to last defender, C was not ahead of the ball near the goal line. So that's critical, right? As long as they are behind the ball. And you'll see that a lot on a fast attack or a break, like the defender slips and it's like 2 on nobody heading toward the goalkeeper. And as long as this pass is backward, that's good. Now let's see. Oh, they didn't have a forward one. But if this pass was forward, if C was up in here, like ahead of the ball, and that pass was forward, now they're offside. That's critical to know because it's when the ball is played. So right here, the ball is played here. C is behind the ball. So you cannot be in an offside position if you have 2 players between you and the goal line, if the ball's ahead of you, or if you're not in your end of, you're in not in the attacking end of the field. Okay. Not too shabby, right? So let me jump out of this. How about some questions on offside right now? I know some of you guys are pretty savvy out there. Clayton, did that make sense? You're a savvy guy on this, right? What do you think?
Yeah, everything lines up with club play.
Yep. Jose, thoughts? Chris, welcome.
Yeah, it's oh, go ahead, Chris.
Yeah, I think he was just saying welcome, but no, I think I'm pretty good offsides. When you were saying the assistant ref, the one that's along on the sideline, you were saying they would be a little bit closer to play. It's typical for them to be closer to play all the time, right?
So remember, we're talking about a 2-person crew.
Right.
Right. So we typically, as a 2-person crew, the lead official who's running with the attackers will typically be on the field of play. And the only time you run outside the touchline is when the play is on the touchline. You stay outside. Okay. But typically you run, if they're on the far side, you kind of run inside. You run in as far as you feel comfortable without getting caught up in the play.
Right, because all of those pictures had them on the
that's because
outside of the touchline, because it's like
yeah.
Right.
Because USSF only does 3-person crew. They don't do 2. You don't do youth game crew 2 usually. They'll do 1 or 3 usually.
Usually the big complaint from the fans that I've seen, it's always when the ball was touched last. I always go to that.
Yeah.
He was onside when the ball was touched.
Yeah, right. Look, so this is a big thing. So here's how we think about it in high school soccer. If it's close, they're onside. I don't know how you guys like to think about it in the travel world, but if it's close, if it's not clear to me that they're in an offside position, they're not getting penalized for it. right? Because we don't have, it's not like the knee is ahead or the torso. It's like, I don't have the lines that get drawn like the Premier League does and Bundesliga. Like we just have to make a snap decision. And most of the time, unless they're clearly offside, they are onside. You have to be 100% sure they're in an offside, position. Let's watch some video and then do some test questions. Okay, so here we go. Let me share again. Okay, here's some good videos. Let's watch these. I'm gonna stop these as well. Okay, I'll stop and go. Okay. All right, go. So watch play here, okay? So this is a high school. Now we're not on a good angle with this camera, but I think you can still see it. So white's the attacking team, right? And this is actually a 3-person crew. Notice there's an assistant referee over here. We have our referee in the middle. We have another assistant on this side. But in a 2-person game, you're not running the middle of the field. You're running kind of like in the back here, and someone will be running in the front. But you'd still see this pretty clear. So watch this play. So white strikes the ball. Now look at the players. Look across the field. Okay, there's the strike of the ball. We assume there's a goalkeeper at the other end. So our next to last defender is probably this person over here. And notice this person is probably a half a yard ahead when the ball struck. So ball struck, boom, okay? Now I will say one thing that's different in high school than USSF. Notice the mechanics, and you travel folks here, I'm gonna back it up a hair. Notice where that official stopped running. That is a mechanic in a 3-person crew, non-high school, that you stop because the restart, I believe, you guys tell me if I'm wrong, I haven't done USSF in a few years, but the restart will be where the assistant referee, where she was when the ball was struck, correct?
Yeah,
So-
that sounds right.
Yep.
Yep, okay. Not in high school. In high school, I'm going to play this out a little bit more. Right here. Right here, I would say she's become inactive play. Notice the official's not even here. In a 2-person game, difference in mechanic than USSF, you would still run with that play. You would probably be level with that play. You'd probably be running. When the ball came through, you would hustle to stay with that play. Now, you're not as agile as these young athletes. Maybe you young guys are, but for me, I might be a step or 2 behind, but I'd probably be like right here. And as soon as I realized that player was in active play, I'd blow the whistle and my restart would be here, not back here. Not like in USSF where we'd restart it. That is a difference. It's where we restart where the player became involved in active play. Okay, that's one difference. And I notice whenever I work with USSF folks, they always get that wrong. But just so you know, right? So we'll do our restart closer to this area. Like it doesn't have to be exact, but like as compared to bringing it all the way back here. And because if that ball came through, let's say that player didn't go after the ball, just stopped running. And you as the official were stopped back here waiting to raise your flag. Well, she never became involved in active play. So, she just stopped. She realized, hey, I was in an offside position. I'm not going to touch the ball, or I'm not even going to go close to it. So anyway, let's play this out. So here it is again in slow-mo. Okay, here's the strike. You see where she is. And I know it's a bad angle, but she was probably a good half yard offside. So right about now, I would probably, once I realized she was going to be the one to get the ball, that's when I would stop play. All right, here's another one here. So let's see, we got a white attacker here, next to last defender up here in the top right. Okay, let's see what we got here. All right, still, it looks like 6 is looking for a through ball here. Okay, and there we go. There the ball was played. Now this is tight, right? This is really tight. And I got to tell you, what do you guys think? I'll play it through. You tell me what you think. I'll play it back again. What do you guys think of that? I'll play it back one
Looks
more time.
onside.
Yeah, right? It was really tight. Now, that official blew it dead. Now, maybe on this slow-mo, we get a better look at it. So it was tight, but I'll tell you what.
The girl right by the official is keeping her onside.
I think you might be right there, right? And I think,
Yeah, that's
know-
what I was gonna say too.
yeah, right. So these are tough calls, right? One coach is going to like your call and the other one is not, of course.
And he probably didn't see the girl behind him. That's why he probably called it.
Yeah, could be, right? So yeah, there you go. But look, this could have led to a goal scoring opportunity. All right, here we go. Goal kick, right? Goal kick. Now watch this. Boom, boom. Now wait, you can't be offside on a goal kick, right?
That's right.
Yeah, so why did they blow it offside?
Because once the first player touched it, that's when the ball becomes live.
Yeah, here it is again, right? So watch this. So here it comes. Right? So
Oh,
there-
White touched it. Yes.
White touched it.
That's
So the goal kick was
Offside.
over.
Mhm.
Yeah. And so
Yep, good
now the
call.
ball is being played by White. If she was in an offside position and played it directly from the goal kick, no worries, right? We're good. But because it was played by White and the criteria is she has to be behind the ball or have two defenders between her and the goal line because she's in the attacking end. That's
another close call right there. That other girl where you have the arrow is very close to.
Yep. Now here's
keeping her onside.
yeah, look, and as officials, we have to learn what is the defense trying to do. So the defense is trying to trap here a little bit, sort of trap, like they're trying to play up. So with her being outside, I probably would have called this offside because look, she got a really good advantage. And if I would have seen her torso ahead, I got it. If she's level, I let it go. Right. So, yeah. All right, here's another one. That looked clearer, right? Look at the coach on the other side with the hand up. Okay. So let's watch it again. Here it is. So look at her. Boom. Yeah. So this is tricky, right? So as officials, where do you stand on this? All right. Now this is 3-person crew, not a good example. We as the trail official, because the trail is the person in the back, lead official be down the left. We would stand even with the next to last defender. I would see right away that this player in white, the attacking player now, is in an offside position. And like, that's an easy one there. She's 3 yards offside. So we call that right there. And there's where our restart's going to be right there. See, notice he looked over here, but we wouldn't have someone in the middle. This person will blow the whistle and our restart is an indirect kick from the spot nearest where the player became involved in active play. See another example here. Here we go. White. Let's see. This could be a tight one too. So it looks like they got it right. She's probably a good yard or so offside as the ball is played in the attacking zone, has only one person between her and the goal, and it creates a significant advantage there.
But what about the defensive player that was on the opposite sideline? It looked like she was keeping her on.
Well, that's a good question. Of course, we have a bad angle on this camera view,
And
but
she's out of view when the ball's played.
we'll see that this girl here won. That's the key.
No, there's a defender.
Right here.
That one.
Yeah.
Yeah, at the halfway line. So let's look at her. Let's follow her. Oh, this is different play, isn't it? Did I go past that already?
Yeah, I think you did.
Yeah, I did. Let's go back. Yeah, here it is here. Let's go back. So you're taught, this is the keeper.
No, I think there's one more
It's the
before that.
one before. Yep, it's the one before.
Example 5, I think it is.
Oh, there's example 5. Okay. Yeah,
So
it's-
there's a defender way over here. It's hard to say, but like way over on the other sideline.
like
when the
over
ball-
here.
Yeah, when the ball's played.
Yeah, it's hard to tell, right? Because we don't have a good look at that. But you're right. She was over there, right? Maybe that one was missed. Good catch. Because it looks like she would have kept her on side, right?
It's like on his blind spot.
Yeah. So I'm with you on that. So again, how tricky is that? So example 6 here. Let's see. Let's watch that again. Oops, go away, you things. Get out of there. Here you go. Look at this. What do you think? I know those things are blocking you. I don't know how to get rid of them, but look at this. Tight, right?
I mean, it looks like when she started the play, she was on. No.
Yeah, watch.
She was on her own side of
She
the
didn't kick
field.
it. Right. She
And
didn't.
she would. Oh, she hadn't.
She was
kicked it yet,
right
right?
next to her.
Yeah, how about that,
It
huh?
looked like she was right next to her. Right
Yeah,
when she kicked. Right when she kicked the ball, it looked
yeah,
like
yeah.
the other player was like right in line with the defender.
It was close, but it almost like if she would have got that ball a little bit earlier, she would have been okay.
It was slow in developing too because was almost on her own side of the field, so it would have been okay. But then she got to the other side, and then she looked like she was offside.
Yeah. Oh, we did this one already. Sorry, I had another thing here. Here's a couple others here. Let's take a look at these. These are just harder to see, but there you get. Oh, I think he was offside.
Almost killed them though.
Yeah.
Oof.
That's a tough play.
Oh, look at that knee almost in his face.
Yeah, we're actually I think I'm playing the wrong thing here. Oh, soccer fouls. Yeah, play that. It's another week. I'm like, where is that coming from? Here's a couple examples I think I have here. Here's a good example. So let me make it bigger here.
Would that other foul be like intent to injure? Like he had his knee way up there, hit him in the face.
Absolutely, yeah, absolutely. So this looks like my team Barcelona here. Yeah, maybe Manchester City, Barcelona. I was just at Barcelona Stadium last month. Did a nice tour of it. It was pretty cool.
They're looking good this year. They have a lot of good new players.
Yeah, right. They can stay out of bankruptcy. They'll be fine. All right, let's take a look here. See if what we got. There's the ball played. Okay.
He's off by a hair.
But the question is, let's take a look at it again.
It's the second pass in front of the goal, right?
Yeah, so
Or this one.
Oh, yeah. So right there, that number 2 or whatever, he's offside.
But then is this?
The ball goes to the other side, so he's
Yeah.
fine, right?
I think, well, I don't know
Yeah.
about this one. So right here, right, I think,
He is onside because the other guy on the near side is keeping him on.
yeah, number 8, keeping them on.
Right
right?
there, right?
Yeah,
But
8.
was that a lateral pass or did he go back? Like because he does pass it.
So that part is good, right? So so far so
Right.
good right there.
Yeah,
Now what happens here?
But then this, which way does this go?
behind the ball, right?
If he goes behind, then he's good, right? Yeah.
Good.
Oh,
yeah.
see, it cuts off. Yeah, it looked
But
good.
he was behind the ball though. He was when the
Right.
ball was struck, he was behind the ball. So that was pretty okay. So all right, that's good. You get some good look. There's tons of videos out there on like literally you can, and I put a bunch of them up there. And there's some explaining there if you're still a little confused on the rule, kind of your first year, and you're just kind of getting understanding this. The key is, as officials, we just need to make sure we're keeping an eye on that. You can't fall asleep on that one particular play because they want you to call it, right? They want you to make sure that a team doesn't get an advantage. So
Games are won and lost on that play, Bill.
oh yeah, all the time, even at the high school level. So let's just do a couple of the questions that had offside in them. Make sure we have them, and then we'll call it a night here, right? Okay. So let me pull up your test if you can. I'll get it up on the screen here in a second. Sorry, I didn't have it ready. Let's pull it up. go.
While you're pulling that up, Bill, I did go to that webpage for the official, and I have the one, but my chapter's on the bottom. It's all the way at the bottom. It has the chapter. It has Atlantic Cape Cumberland Soccer.
Oh, you can get to it. Okay. That's
Well,
interesting.
it's got the name. It's got the name, but it doesn't. I'll have to see how you get back in there.
Okay. We can hang on at the end and you can share your screen and I might be able to walk you through that. Okay, so let me share here. Yeah, if you guys want to share screen later, I'll stop the recording and we can try to diagnose your problems here. Okay, so here's our test. So there's a couple questions on here around offside. So question 7, let's just answer these so we have them. So this is the document that we're all working from. It's in your Cadet thing here. Where is it? It's up top. It's our online test. Where is it? Oh, it's up top. So it is our capturing input. So it's line 6. This document right here is this document right here where we're putting the answers in. So if you want the answers, come in here and get them because we're all working. You're earning them though. I'm not giving them to you. You're earning them. Okay, so 7 says A10's in an offside position after receiving a pass from B7. B9 accidentally passes the ball to A10. What do we have here? Let me go to the phones. Jose, what do you think?
I'm having a hard time seeing the writing.
Hold on, I'll make it big for you guys. Hold on. There we go. So A10's in an offside position after receiving the ball. I'll make it even bigger. After receiving the pass from B7. So it's A10 is offside. Receives a pass from B7, the opponent. Okay. B9 accidentally passes the ball to A10. Okay.
So then he would be onside because he got the ball from a defender, right?
Yeah, so the answer is C, right? You cool with that? You guys all good with that?
Cool with that.
Yeah, right? Okay. 8 is an offside question. A3, so Robert.
Yeah.
Yeah, you answer this one. What do you go by, Bob or Robert? You said before.
Bob usually.
Bob, okay. All right, Bob. So A3 receives the ball directly from a corner kick taken by A5, while A3 is standing in an offside position. What do you do here?
Allow play to continue.
Yeah, right? Yep. I'm with
Yep.
you. These are easy. Told you this test is easy. All right, Clayton, you got the next one here. So 8. Oh, we did 8. Let me find the other ones here. All right. 16. A1, an offensive player, steps off the field to avoid being called for offside. Oh, this is a good one. What is the ruling? What do you got?
It is legal.
Why do you say that?
Because you'd have to, I mean, A1 would have to be involved in active play,
Mhm.
and you can leave the field to not be offside. So
That's right. Singular offside, right? There you go.
yeah.
Yes. I like busting chops on that one. Okay. Yeah, you're spot on right. Now let me ask you a question. What if the defender, the next to last defender, stepped off the field to cause A1 to be in an offside position?
That would not be legal.
Okay. That's correct. So you would not penalize them for being in an offside position.
Yeah.
Right. Basically, you still count them as being there. Yep. Okay, cool. 17. So Chris, how about you take 17?
Sure.
We got A10 is in an offside position, receives a header from B10. What's the ruling?
So that's offense received it from defense, correct?
Correct.
Right, A10 is on the okay. I would say that's legal. No, wait. They were offside before. No, that's
So
You said it.
illegal.
You said it. You said it right. It was legal. You said it right because it was touched
Is
by
it
the
legal?
defender.
Because it was touched
Yeah.
by the defender,
That's
Yeah.
right. It was,
right? Okay.
right. Well, and here's the thing, right? Here's the key word, header, right? I'm going to underline that, bold it. Header is considered to be playing the ball. If it said, if this question said deflected off of B10, then no, that's not a play. Okay. A10 in an offside position receives a ball deflected off of B10. What's the ruling? How would you answer that then?
That would be offside.
That's correct. That would be the answer here. But in this case, a header is considered playing the ball.
An
Okay,
intentional play.
that's correct. It's an intentional play. So, so that would be legal, right? This one, B.
What am I gonna eat for dinner?
There you go. Good. All right, see if we got other ones on here. 23. Go back to who's next? Jose, right? 23, maybe. B19 is in an offside position. B12 kicks the ball forward. Here we go. But the ball deflects off A1 to B19. B19 should be blank.
Yep, he should be penalized for offside because it was a deflection, like you said, no possession.
Yeah, how about that, right? There you go. You got it. Tough to tell. You know, a lot of times if you watch, I'm sure you guys watch on television, you know, the leagues, sometimes there's a deflection and sometimes they're not. They got to determine if the ball touched another player, intention, if they played the ball. We don't have that luxury to like slow it down. We have to make those calls pretty quick.
You mean we can't stop the play and go to the TV?
Yeah,
look
you
at
can't
the
do that. You
replay?
can't do the fancy signal. No. All right, 24. Who's up next? I forget what order we're in here, but
I'll take it.
go ahead. All right, player A of the attacking team is clearly in an offside position when player A's teammate delivers the ball to player A with a throw in. They collect the ball and kick it into the goal. What should you do?
Goal counts.
Yeah, right. So what are the three things that are okay to kind of dispense you from being in an offside position? I can receive a ball from a throw in. What else?
Goal kick and corner kick.
Yep, there you go. Perfect. Yep. Directly, right? Okay. 25 is also offside. I guess, Bob, player A who's in an offside position receives the ball from a goal kick. Look, they make these too easy for us, right? So I don't think they're trying to like trip us up too much. They just want to see if you know the rules. What do you think?
If it's from a goal kick, it can't be offsides.
Yeah, so there's no offside violation and allowed to continue. Let's see if there's any other offside. Yeah, 30.
So can I ask you a question on that?
Sure.
So if I am on team A, I have a goal kick and I kick it all the way down the field to my teammate that's in offside position and they score a goal. He's not offside either. It's not just talking about me being on the defensive end.
That's 100% correct.
Okay.
Yes. It goes both ways. Yep. Yes, indeed. And that'd be hard to happen, but it could happen in a little kid's game, maybe, you know, where they, I don't know, you know, it's really hard to happen. 30. Bob, Bob, are you up? I forget who's up now. A2 receives a goal kick in the attacking. A2 receives a goal kick in the attacking half of the field for A1. There is not at least two opponents near their own goal line when A2 receives the ball from A1.
Offsides.
It sounds like what Bob just asked about, isn't it? If you kick it all the way down the field,
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
right? Isn't that what Bob just asked?
that's right. That's right. So it's
So the onsides.
yeah. So basically, right. So technically there is no such thing as onside. I don't even think you find that word in the rule book. You're either offside or not offside, right? Just as we're learning the right terminology here, right? So, and it's, you know, you're either offside which is fine, but you're not penalized for it until you become involved in active play. So you can be in an offside position and still be fine. There's no penalty. But once unless you're receiving the ball from a goal kick, corner kick, or throw in, then anytime you receive the ball from one of your teammates, then that is an offense, and then we penalize. If you receive it from an opponent, you're still good as long as they played the ball, right, and not deflected it. All right, let's see if there's any other offside questions in here. We're getting through. We got a lot of the questions done. Timing, start, goal kick. We've done most of these. Corner kick. Did anyone get the new rule book yet?
I did.
What is the change? Because I don't have the new rule book in my hand, and it's a word change for 47. With and I literally don't have the new rule book, and I looked it up and I couldn't find it.
Which one?
On a corner kick, the defending team should be positioned 10 yards away from blank. It's a rule change. And I think the answer is ball, because it used to be the corner arc, but I think maybe they changed it. I don't know. Do you know? It's probably in the front of the rule book.
I'm looking at the front. 17. The proper distance from the opposing team on a corner kick has been defined. 17-1-2. Is that the one you're talking about?
Yeah. So jump to 17-1-2. They probably have it highlighted in there. I want to get this one right, because you guys are getting the rule books before I'm going to get. I haven't even seen your
17-1-2.
My guess is it's ball, but
Players of the defending team shall be at least 10 yards from the corner arc until the ball has been kicked.
Okay, so they clarify that. So now we know. All right, so get that down. I'm going to make that correct on both of my things here. Okay. Okay, good. I think there was one more, I think. Oh, maybe not. That might be it on offside. Yeah, we got a lot of these done. I think we'll be done this test pretty quickly here. So I probably will record something for you guys to go through some of these other items. But so Clayton, you said you took the test, right? Who took?
I have, yeah.
Okay, good. So and you other guys now know how to get into it. You actually can start it if you want. If you want to take a whack at it, that's fine. You get 3 shots, so don't worry about it if you don't pass the first time. They always take the highest score. So
And it looks just like this, right, Bill?
It's these questions.
Okay, gotcha.
They're just mixed up.
Right,
So-
right.
And the answers might be mixed up like A, B, C, D, right? But they're pretty much these questions. There was some clarification that came out from the league, and I'll go to it so everyone knows. Let me find it here. Welcome. Oh, here, look, rule changes. I missed this. Oh no, that was our 24. Let me switch here. Association, going to, and just say, so Ed Sievers is the interpreter. So here's a couple things. I don't know if I can make it bigger. I think I can. So far, okay, here we go. 3 of the 5 video questions are among the 9 most answered wrong questions. And we did those the other day. So here's saying for the obstruction video question, remember, they're looking for the literal application of this rule. So I'll dig into that and take a look at that. For the goalkeeper diving for the ball video, remember that if you think this is a DOGSO, which is a denial of a goal scoring opportunity, you need to determine if the disqualification is downgraded to a caution because the play is a challenge for the ball. So a lot, I know we kind of didn't really talk about that much. And look, in your first year of high school, like you're not going to have a lot of those types of plays, but most of the coaches don't know the difference anyway. But I have a whole chart on DOGSO, which is a denial of a goal scoring opportunity. And I posted that in our class thing. Let's see. Find it somewhere in here. Hold on. Okay, of course I can't. Maybe I didn't give it to you guys. Hold on, let me see if I can give it to you right now. Sorry for holding you a few extra minutes here. DOGSO. Okay, so this is a chart. Did I give you guys this chart? I don't know if I did. Maybe not.
I don't see it. I still have the test up in front of me.
Oh, really?
Yeah, the document is
Hold
on
on.
the screen. There you go.
All right. Hold on, let me share screen again. Oh, that's not what I want to share. Hold on. Share screen. Share screen. Just gotta know how to do this by now. Now you see a DOGSO thing?
Yes.
Okay, so this is a chart. Like this is how complicated sometimes the rules are. So if if you slide down here, if a goalkeeper commits a foul, DOGSO, denies someone of a goal scoring opportunity inside the penalty area, so that's where, so we're going down this path, and is playing the ball, okay, and the goal is scored, not scored, it's a yellow card or caution, and we have a penalty kick. If they were not playing the ball, then, and the goal was not scored, it's a red card. So I don't know how that aligns with other stuff. If they're playing the ball and the goal was scored, then we just apply advantage and we're going to kick it off, right? So we just it's an advantage, play on, right? If they're not playing the ball and the goal was scored, then we would give them a yellow card. So I don't know what that video is, unless you guys want to look at it now. I certainly can answer that one right. Here we go. Pop it open here. Copy that. So that has to do with this question. So let's see what you guys think. It's a question of whether we're downgrading it. Aha, so that's the question. Was she playing the ball? What do you think? Let's play it again. Is she playing the ball? Stop it here, comes in here. Now the question is she playing the ball?
He was about to. Yeah, it's right there. She is.
I think she is.
She is playing the ball, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, she was the closest one to the ball.
Yeah. So if we go to, oops, sorry, do that again. If we go back to our, oh, I did it again. Sorry, I keep scaring the wrong monitor here. Desktop one. Okay.
So while playing the ball, she fouled the offensive player?
Yeah, so let's go down the line. Is it inside the penalty area? Yep.
It was, yep.
And was the goal scored? Well, she was playing the ball, right?
Yep.
Goal
I
scored?
don't think there was a goal.
Yeah, no goal.
Yeah. So
No.
it's a yellow.
So it's
So
a
it's a yellow
PK.
card.
caution. And we're going
Oh, and a PK.
yeah, of course you would, right? Because it was a denial of a goal scoring. It was a foul inside the penalty area.
Right, right.
Right. We didn't talk too much about that, but there was a foul. She fouled her, right? So because it's a foul, right? That's the first criteria. The act was there was a foul and it was a denial of a goal scoring opportunity foul. Okay. Not just
So
a regular.
It's just a matter if it's going to be a yellow or a red card based
That's
on
right.
whether she was playing the ball or not.
And it's a matter of whether the goal went in or not, right? If the goal was scored, we would just apply advantage if she was playing the ball, right? So she was not playing the ball, then, and even if the goal was scored, like let's say she tried to tackle her from behind and she still kicked the ball in, right? Then we would card her for that, right? Because that would be a
So why would she get a card if she's playing the ball if they do not score? I don't understand why she would get carded for that if she was playing the ball. And not-
Yeah, I
call
don't,
it a reckless play. I mean, if she's playing the ball and it's not reckless.
Yeah.
It's because it's in the penalty box, and by fouling her, I think it's thought as denying the opportunity to score.
Okay, I get it now. Yeah, I got you.
and it's a dog so, right? So it's
Right,
only
right.
if it's a denial of a goal scoring opportunity. That's the key thing. That's the whole thing on this stuff, right? So, this chart, I'll send you, I'll post this up in there. It just goes to show you the complexity of the rules. Like, it's like, I don't know, you got to try to just kind of work your way through it. And a lot of there's a few other things, like the one on penalty kicks. Like, what happens if there's a violation on penalty kick? What do we do? So I'm making up a little chart this year that I'm going to stick in my card carrier. Like, we don't get many PKs, but if you do and something happens, it's so complex to try to you have to kind of think through it. And in the rush of a game, it's sometimes hard.
I was just going to ask you if you carry anything like this, because sometimes you have those questionable calls, and it seems like it's unusual. And I was wondering if you pulled something out like this to kind of like help you out.
Hell yeah. 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 Like, there's no rule to say like you have to have all this in your head. Like, I wouldn't pull the rule book out and start reading it, but like a cheat sheet like this, I would definitely do that. There's a couple little cheat sheets we have. Look, we carry stuff with us. We write down when things are scored, so you can pull it out. You're going to write down if you're going to caution someone, so you could pull that piece of paper out, and just have it there. So, all right. What do you guys think? Feeling okay? I hope you enjoy getting together and talking about this stuff. I'm going to stop the recording. Actually, I won't yet. I'll just say, for you guys that are listening, recording, thanks for letting me know when you listen, because we have a good crew. And what did we say? No course next week, was it? Right?
Yeah.
Yeah, you said you were going to maybe record something.
Yeah, I'm going to record something. We might get together when I get back. So I'll just stay in touch with you guys. So if you're listening, recording, stay in touch with your email. I'll keep feeding you stuff. Let's use the next couple weeks to start diving into the test questions. You have most of them done. I think we have well over half of them done. There's some on equipment and uniforms, and we didn't get into the fouls and misconduct yet, but that'll be the next session when we review for the test. And that last day, we'll have the whole test done. Not to say that we got them all right, because you're answering with me as well, but I think we probably will get 92% of them right. And let's get the test out of the way, get your registration out of the way. Uniforms, I'll give you information on that too through email. You guys order your uniforms. I'm going to give you a couple vendors that you can call. And remember, we're going to reimburse you for your uniforms this year. So we have some scholarships coming your way. It hasn't been fully announced yet, but just to spill the beans a little bit, we're trying to help you guys get started. And we only have one shirt. It's this fluorescent orange shirt. And the organization will buy you a shirt, a whistle if you need one, and socks. Because they're different socks than USSF. They have different stripes on them. So, but other than that, there might be some other good news coming your way to help you guys recoup some of your investment up front. So, all right, good stuff.
Good. Can
All
you
right.
just go to Zebraweb one last time, Bill, just to see something?
Yeah, I'm going to stop the recording. Hold on.